This is pretty controversial, but I feel like somebody's gotta say this. There's a dangerous misconception being sold to founders like you and I every single day. The success comes from working harder, pushing longer, and being more relentless. You've heard it everywhere, from best-selling books to viral posts. Outwork everyone. Sleep is for the weak. No pain, no gain. But here's the million-dollar question nobody's asking. If that's the secret to success, then how come 63% of businesses fail within 10 years? And why are so many founders walking away from businesses that on paper seem like they've made it? What if the problem isn't that you're not working hard enough? What if the real issue is that the game you're playing is rigged and you're using the wrong strategy to try to win? The truth is, so many founders pour years into building their dream businesses only to find themselves exhausted, disillusioned, and trapped because they've been following the advice of hustle harder, 10x everything, which isn't just wrong, it's designed to fail. Let me be clear for a second. This isn't your fault or mine. We've been sold a broken paradigm, a broken system that rewards suffering over strategy, force over flow, and grinding over growing. But I asked myself, what if there's a better way, another way that's more intuitive? What if instead of doubling down on the grind, we could finally break free from the grind entirely? And I've figured it out. And today I'm going to show you a different way to approach your life and your business. A way to stop the grind, realign with your purpose, and finally build something that fuels your life instead of draining it. And you're going to learn 3 key shifts to transform your business, which is finally going to align you with your purpose, create more sustainable profit through systems, and inject play to recharge your energy and creativity. If you're new to the channel, my name is Mahmoud Hassan, and over the past 3 years, I've worked with over 200 businesses, helping them scale to 6 figures and even 7 figures, all while growing my own business to 7 figures as well. And through this journey, I've experienced the same frustration that many founders face. And I've seen the patterns, the challenges that keep founders stuck, and the strategies that actually unlock real momentum. You see, my friend, most founders are led to believe that working longer and harder is the key to growing their business. We pour every ounce of energy into our businesses, convinced that if we just keep pushing, finally we'll break through. But instead of moving forward, we find ourselves stuck in a painful cycle. It's similar to a sensation, kind of like holding your breath underwater. I've been there, and I'm sure you have been too. It's like when we feel like we've just cleared the to-do list, another task with burning urgency appears. We tell ourselves, one more project, one more flyer to put out, one more late nighter, just one more. But guess what? Inevitably, another task appears, and another, and yet another. This list is never ending, and catching your breath feels impossible. What was supposed to be a short sprint turns into months and then years of endless grind. And despite your best efforts, the results might not match the time, energy, and effort you're putting in. And the most painful realization is you might have been making more progress when you had no team, no capital, and fewer resources. Why is that? And the business just isn't delivering the vision, the revenue, the impact, or the freedom you once imagined. On paper, sure, it looks like you've built an empire, but the reality, it's chaos, hidden behind payroll and a team that simply isn't moving the needle. And I get it, I've been there too. Hiring a team was supposed to create freedom, leverage, and scale, but instead, we find ourselves more overwhelmed than ever. You might still be involved in every decision because no one knows what to do. You're probably constantly fixing mistakes and cleaning up after others. And unintentionally, you've become the bottleneck in your own business. And while the business demands more, you might have started to neglect yourself. You tell yourself, just one more fire to put out, and then finally I'll take care of myself. But as we've already discussed, there's always another priority. And each time you return to work, you're operating with less energy, less clarity, and less decisiveness. This not only impacts your leadership skills, it actually makes you feel like this business, which was once supposed to be your dream, is now a prison that you've built with your own hands. And again, you might be wondering, how do I know all of this? Well, I've been there. I've lived through this exact cycle, and I'll save that story for another video. But here's the key takeaways that I've learned through my own struggles. The problem, my friend, isn't that you're not working hard enough. I bet you're already giving it your all. The root cause, you've unintentionally built a business that isn't designed to succeed. It drains your energy instead of feeling your life's purpose. It generates just enough revenue to survive, but not enough profit to thrive. And most importantly, it leaves no room for joy or play, keeping you stuck in a constant state of overworking and burnout. And over time, this misalignment compounds into a slow, painful death for the business. Because burnout, this is constant overwork with no energy left for innovation or growth. Then you have resentment, feeling trapped by the very business that was supposed to create freedom for you. And we have stagnation. It's a plateau where every attempt to grow adds more stress, not progress. And the saddest part of them all, many of these businesses have incredible ideas, products, and potential to make a massive impact in the world. But if founders like you and I can't achieve critical mass, not because of a lack of effort, but because the business, again, wasn't designed to succeed in the first place, it's just sad. And at this stage, founders like you and I face three options. We can keep going as we've been going, which is the definition of insanity, mentally and emotionally break down, making us consider an early exit, or burn it all down, sabotaging everything because the pain of continuing feels unbearable. But here's the good news. These aren't the only options. There's a better way. A way to redesign your business to work for you, not against you. A way to build a business that fuels your purpose and generates sustainable profit and creates room for play. A way to grow using what I call flow, not force or friction. It's the difference between swimming upstream versus enjoying the natural momentum built by going with the stream. And again, I just have to emphasize, the answer isn't more hustle, more grit, or more late nights. Right now, you're trying to outwork the problem, but the problem isn't how hard you're working, it's what you're working on. For a second, imagine this. You're digging a hole with a spoon. You're probably desperate, frantic, and exhausted. No matter how fast you dig, you barely make any progress. But if you stop for a moment and you look around, you'd realize there's a shovel right next to you, which would get you results so much faster. And I get it because I've been there. The hardest thing for any founder to do is to stop, because you're thinking, if I pause, everything will collapse. But the truth is, my friend, if you keep working this way, if you keep going this way, everything is going to collapse anyway. So the more you dig with the wrong tools, the deeper you entrench the problem. You might be asking yourself, what is this better way? What's the mystery? Now, I have to ask you this. What if you could stop the madness, pick up the shovel, and make real progress, not through force, but through flow and fun? Because the better way starts with redesigning how you even think about business, how you even approach business, using three key pillars: purpose, profit, and play. These three pillars aren't just concepts. They're the foundation of a business that works for you, not against you. So let's break them down bit by bit. Now, before we talk about purpose, I do have to mention this. The age-old saying, if you give me 6 hours to chop down a tree, I'll spend the first 4 hours sharpening the axe. Right now, you're probably swinging a dull axe at a massive tree. So no matter how hard you swing, it's simply not gonna come down. So the first shift is to stop swinging and ask yourself, why am I even chopping this tree in the first place? How did I get here? Did I intend to chop this tree down? And if so, why? Purpose is your North Star. It guides you when everything is chaotic. It reminds you why you even got started, and it ensures every move you make gets you closer to your vision, not further away. But here's the problem. When we're stuck in survival mode, we lose sight of that purpose. We start making decisions reactively without considering whether they align with their original vision or values. So if you're not clear on your purpose, you're gonna wake up one day and realize the business you've built is completely out of sync with who you are and what you want out of life. And resentment is gonna creep in because the business becomes a prison instead of vehicle for freedom. Every decision becomes a burden, every project feels like a grind, and the excitement you once had is replaced by frustration. You start to hate this game of entrepreneurship, and you start to even ask yourself, why? why am I even doing this anymore? Purpose is going to actually force you to reflect and ask yourself, does this business align with the person I want to become? Is it helping me create the impact I wanted to make in the world? Or has this business morphed into something unrecognizable while I've been stuck in survival mode? So purpose ultimately is going to give you that clarity and direction. But clarity alone isn't going to pay the bills. So now that you know why you're chopping the tree, the next step is to sharpen your tools and build leverage. And that's where profit comes in. I get it, what you're thinking. Profit isn't just about money. It's the fuel that powers everything that you do, because without it, you can't build the systems you need to scale. You can't hire the right team to take tasks off your plate, and you cannot reinvest in growth and innovation. Profit isn't optional, it is essential. But here's the key. Profit should never come at the expense of the founder. Yet most businesses rely on the founder for every dollar generated. If you step away, the cash flow stops. That's not profit, that's survival. That's not a business, that's a glorified job. True profit comes from systems and teams that generate revenue despite your input, not because of it. Without leverage, your business becomes a house of cards, one that collapses the moment you're not there to hold it up anymore. And the sad reality is, most founders fail to achieve this because they don't have the foundational systems dialed in. And here's the 4 key foundational systems. First, marketing, which is generating attention and leads. Sales, converting those leads into high-paying clients. Fulfillment, so you can deliver your product or service while exceeding client expectations. And finally, we have operations, which is to manage the back end and make sure it's running like a well-oiled machine. And if any one of these depends on the founder, meaning your constant input, the business will never scale. And this is where most founders get stuck. You might be finding yourself creating marketing strategy and overseeing every campaign, taking or closely supervising sales calls because no one can perform like you do. You might have to step in and fix issues with product delivery or quality. You might be also managing the operations manually because there's no clear systems in place. And as a result, your business, it becomes a bottleneck because you're the one holding it together, everything one bit at a time. And again, true profit comes when the business is systemized and works seamlessly whether you're there or not. Without these systems, you're running a business that's reliant on hustle, not leverage. I want you to imagine your business like a car. Marketing is the engine. It drives new leads and keeps you moving forward. Sales is the transmission. It converts momentum into revenue. Fulfillment is the suspension. It ensures a smooth ride for all of your clients. And operations is the chassis. It holds everything together and it keeps the structure intact. And if one of these components break down, the entire car stops. And guess who's fixing it? Of course, you. If you're the one manually fixing the engine, replacing the transmission, and patching up the suspension, then who's driving? Well, the vehicle isn't even moving to begin with because you, my friend, are stuck under the hood. And again, I have to emphasize this. Profit isn't just about growth. It's about freedom. It's what gives you the ability to step back and think strategically without worrying about survival. It's what gives you the resources to reinvest in better systems, better tools, and better people. And it also gives you the peace of mind that comes from knowing that your business isn't totally dependent on you. So for a second, ask yourself, is your marketing generating leads consistently, or is it sporadic and manual? Does your sales process convert predictably, or are you having to constantly step in to close deals or hope for a miracle? And is your product or service delivered efficiently, or are you having to constantly troubleshoot? And does your operation run smoothly, or are you always fixing the same mistakes over and over and managing some sort of chaos? Profit, again, creates that space for you to step back, which is the job of the founder to begin with. But here's the thing, that space is useless if you're too drained to use it. And that's why the final piece of the framework is so critical, which is what I call play. And yes, I get it. I know what you're thinking, but hear me out. Play isn't a luxury. It's a necessity. Neuroscience and psychology shows us that rest and play activate the part of your brain responsible for breakthroughs and creative problem solving. And this is why your best ideas often come in the shower or on a hike, not when you're at your desk stressed out of your mind. Without play, even the most profitable business will leave you feeling empty. Why? Because you're operating on fumes, running from one fire to the next with no time to think, reflect, or innovate. And as a result, you lose your original spark and your business suffers, it stagnates. And play isn't about slacking off. It's really about feeling your ability to lead and create, because play recharges your mental and emotional battery, allowing you to show up as your best self. It unlocks creativity, giving you the clarity to imagine the next chapter of your business. And most importantly, it puts you back in the role of visionary, not just a taskmaster. Without play, you become a cog in the machine, but with play, you become the creator of the machine, the one who sets the vision, who inspires the team, and who drives the business forward. It's what reignites you to imagine the next chapter, to think and be and dream boldly. So I want to ask you, when was the last time you truly stepped away to recharge? What tasks drain you and what tasks energize you? And are you operating at full capacity, or are you just going through the motion? Because if you don't make time for play, burnout isn't just possible, it's inevitable. And when you do burn out, the entire business suffers, because ultimately play is what keeps you in the game and loving the game. When these three pillars are aligned, everything changes. Purpose fuels clarity and direction because you know exactly where you're going and why. Profit creates leverage and scalability because you finally have the resources to grow sustainably. And play, well, it re-energizes you and invigorates your creativity so you can show up as the best version of yourself. This entire framework moves you from force to flow, from chaos to clarity, from burnout to balance. When your business aligns with your life, it's no longer a grind. Every day is a joy. Every part of it works together seamlessly, allowing you to build something more meaningful, more profitable, and more sustainable. So again, for a second, imagine waking up each day energized, knowing your business works for you, not the other way around. Imagine being able to step away for weeks, knowing your systems and your team is going to keep everything running smoothly. And imagine not only building something that makes a profit, but also makes an impact in the world and gives you the freedom to truly live. My friend, this isn't just a framework. It's a complete shift in how founders like you and I build, lead, and live. Purpose, profit, and play are the foundation of a business that doesn't just survive, it thrives. A business that doesn't drain you, but fuels you. So how do you make this happen? Well, in the next video, I'm going to actually walk you through an actionable step-by-step audit that I'd be doing if I was in your shoes. All right, so there you have it. The exact action items that you need to work on to reflect on purpose, profit, and play. And my friend, I made this video from the bottom of my heart because I've been exactly where you are. I've felt the frustration, the burnout, and the weight of trying to figure it out all on my own. But I've also discovered a better way, a way to realign my business with my purpose, create sustainable profit, and rediscover the joy that first inspired me to even start. My purpose now is to help other founders do what they do best, which is bring life-changing products and services to the world without sacrificing themselves in the process. So if you found this video helpful, please like and subscribe to support the channel. It truly means the world to me. And if you know another founder who needs to hear this message, forward this video to them. Sometimes all it takes is just one spark to reignite someone's passion and change the trajectory for the better. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.